But we could have room for people to race for different reasons also. Like I think in a marathon, you have people that do it to make it. You have people that do it to win it. And you have people that run with their friends. And like, why shouldn't we also in Swimrun have room for any reason to race as well?
Welcome to the Low Tide Boys, a Swimrun podcast. I'm Chip.
And I'm Chris, and this is episode 209 of the show. It's a new year, and we're stoked to kick it off with one of our favorite humans and swimrunner extraordinaire, Fanny Kuhn. If you aren't familiar with Fanny, she's a two-time swimrun world champion, co-founder of Wild Swimrun, and is basically swimrun royalty. And we can't think of a better guest to kick off the start of year 4 of the podcast.
Year 4. I heard you say it. I saw it, and it hasn't quite processed.
Well, it's just started, so
it's just started. That's true. I'm still getting used to it. But first, training update. So the holidays are over, and it's time to get back into the routine. We'll ideally be hitting the pool 3 to 4 times a week and running 3 to 4 times a week. Our swimrun season will likely kick off at ÖTILLÖ Engadin. Please join us.
Yeah,
You're welcome to join us. We invite you all to join us.
Yes.
In Switzerland. And so we're going to get serious in late February. And it's layering on the base miles, getting all these sorts of resolutions out.
Burning off some of the winter coat.
Yeah, shedding some of the winter coat. That's a good way to put it. But yeah, we have some new gadgets excited to use in the pool, and you'll hear about all those things later. Maybe you've already heard about them. But anywho, on to this week's shout out.
Yeah, so our shout out this week goes to the country of Germany. It recently passed Canada to reach 4th place in our total downloads per country metrics. So thank you to all the German swimrunners out there checking out the show. Vielen Dank.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah.
We'll have to readjust our standing board in the Studio G. We'll move the German flag up one, surpassing Canada.
Surpassing Canada, yeah.
So
come on, Canadians.
If you're Canadians, double time, please. Now, for this week's Feats of Endurance. This week's winner goes to our friend Mara Tynan. She hiked and camped across Catalina Island over 3 days, and everything looked epic. Even the bison poop, because there's buffalo on there, Mm-hmm. So we did a swim run on there once 3 years ago now at this point.
Yeah, we didn't see any bison, but she sure did.
She definitely did. So that's a pretty fun adventure over there in Catalina
at the end of the year.
Nice. So make sure new year you're on Strava, head it over to Low Tide Boys Club, join up, and join in all the fun that you're seeing in our Strava Club. We got how many people we at now?
600 and something.
600. Lord Almighty, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Well,
wait, is it 600
605? You were right. Okay. Wow, 605.
I was like, maybe it's 505. I don't know.
600 people, the most popular, self-proclaimed most popular swim run club on Strava.
Yeah.
Now for a little bit of show business.
Yeah, so a new year means new opportunity to not bonk your brains out at your next race. So
it's my resolution.
Yeah, it's a standing resolution. Our friends at Precision Fuel and Hydration help athletes personalize their hydration and fueling strategies for training and racing to prevent just that. And we obviously swore, if you've heard this show since the beginning, or since we had them on,
over there.
We swore by their products. So, they have this free fuel and hydration planner to get you a personalized race nutrition plan for your next event. So make sure you check that out. They have swimrun as a category. Mm-hmm. They understand swimrun. So if that's enough to get you to, get some product, maybe it'll change your life. Maybe not. Probably will. Use the code LOWTIDE24 to get 15% off your first order. Fuel, electrolytes, hats, whatever.
They do have a pretty sweet bucket hat. If you're into that sort of thing, I'm eyeballing that. But the fuel and hydration planner, I've used it multiple times for any swim runs. I used it for non-swim when we did the 50K trail run. I was like, man, how much should I bring on here? Well, Precision Fuel and Hydration did all the hard work for you. Yeah. Just punch your numbers in there and you're good to go.
That's good stuff.
Low Tide 24. Save you a cool 15%. as well.
Yeah,
Can't
the
go
first
wrong.
order. Wink, wink.
Yeah. You can, it applies to bucket hats as well. Now on to our interview with swimrun royalty herself, Fanny Kuhn.
It was really great to have Fanny back on the show. In this conversation, we caught up on her thoughts about ÖTILLÖ USA Austin, which she raced, the state of the sport of swimrun, her new coaching offerings, and so much more. And, you know, when we saw Fanny in Austin, it was just so great to see her. I mean, we hadn't seen her in person, obviously, since Catalina in 2020. And, you know, she became a mom. She had some injuries that she overcame. And it's just, it's just always great to spend some time with her. And you know, right then and there, I was like, hey, you know what? We should have you on to kick off our year.
Blast off 2024 into the swimrun stratosphere with Fanny on, and she's always great. She's just such a warm, amazing person to chat with every time, and she's always great to have on the show. This marks her third appearance.
I think so.
Third appearance, I think, or something.
Yeah, I think so. Third or fourth.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but really cool that she's now coaching now. She's based in Miami, Florida. So if you're interested in being coached by, you know, a living legend, you can reach out to her at fannykuhn.com.
Absolutely.
So recommend that.
And her kid is cute, which has to count for something as well.
Super cute.
And she's, you know, she's in the United States. So one would assume that she will be racing more U.S. swim runs.
Yeah.
Which we're excited at the possibility of seeing Fanny out more often in the U.S. swim run scene.
Yes.
But without further ado, let's get it right into it with our conversation with Fanny Kuhn.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, 2024. Let's go.
You know, every year we try to kick off this show with just a heavy hitter, and we're doing it again, people.
What's happening?
We have swimrun royalty.
Yes.
I said this when we saw her in Austin. I was like, hey, Fanny, do you realize that most of these people don't know that you're swimrun royalty? And you're like, oh, Beaks, just stop
it, Chris.
But we have Fanny Kuhn on the show. Welcome back. This is your third time.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here again. And it's amazing to see how much the podcast is growing. And I have to revert it right back to you guys, because you are the celebrities when you come in, like in Austin. And I was like, oh my God, that's the Low Tide Boys. And like to my husband, these are the Low Tide Boys.
It's too funny. It's too funny. Yeah. Well, you know, when it really feels like, oh my God, like Catalina seems like so long ago when we first met. And that was an awesome conversation, and we kept in touch ever since. And, you know, tell us how you've been doing. We know that now you're living in U.S. and Florida full time. You're a mother, which is amazing.
Congratulations on that.
How have you been?
Yeah, no, it's been great. I moved to Florida now 2 years ago. I say from Spain, and really like it here. It's a little bit for me, because I lived in the US before when I went to college. So it's a little bit like coming back, but I think Florida is a bit different from where I went to college in Kentucky. So it's definitely nice weather.
There is a contrast there between Kentucky and Florida. That's safe to say, yes.
Indeed. Yeah, so no, it's great. It's hot in summer, but I don't mind that. And usually, or I go to Sweden. But it's really nice. We like it here. And obviously, yes, my training and swim running took a little break while I was pregnant, and then recuperating and learning life as a mother. And it's been going really well. And I love being a mother too. But I'm also now I think I'm almost back to my shape that I was at least before I got pregnant and so on. So it's taken its time. I was a bit naive, and I thought it was going to take like a couple of months and I would have lost all the weight and already be back swim running. But it took a bit longer than that. I have to give your body a bit of time to get back. But it's also such a big part of me and my life to be an athlete. So that's something I prioritize to get back to as well. After.
Well, I think it's safe to say that you made it back. I mean, because your return to Swimrun was with the other part of the Swimrun royalty is Desiree Anderson. When you guys went to Isle of Scilly, and I was like, no problem. You know, it's like right back to where you used to being, like top of the podium.
True. Yeah. No, that was actually before I got pregnant, but it was also
that's right.
after a bunch of, after a bunch, I had also a bit of a break before that because I was injured for like a year. So that was another comeback, I guess.
Okay. Well,
It's always happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we did see you in person at ÖTILLÖ / Odyssey, formerly known as Odyssey, now ÖTILLÖ Austin. And you were racing there. We saw your kid. We met your husband. I loved how he brought all his fishing stuff.
We saw him catch some fish.
He was fishing with your kid while you were swim
it's
running it up.
It's a great passion of his that actually works very well with the swim running because if there's water and he can fish with our son, and then I go swimming, so it's perfect.
For sure. What were your thoughts on that race?
I loved it. I thought it was great. It was a nice community. Always with swim, you meet so many nice people, and everyone's so kind. And the course was nice as well. Easy swims in the river and some trails, a little bit of a hills. I hadn't been able to train so much hills here in Florida. It's very flat. Yeah, but it wasn't bad, and the trails were beautiful. I really liked it, and it was so fun to be back racing again. And just, it's such a, I mean, the feeling of doing swimrun. It's hard to describe until you do it. It just feels nice to be back.
Yeah,
for sure.
And then I remember as well, and I'd love to hear like your perspective on it, sort of, and Chris too. Like when you have your first kid and you're out there doing the, whether it's a marathon, whatever your race is, and it gives you an extra. I feel like it gave you an extra edge, sort of, that you're like, oh, I'm doing this for my, like I'm doing it for my kid. It's like plus up on the effort a little bit. But how was that first return for you and coming back?
Yeah, it definitely gives you a little bit of extra energy when you think about it. It was my teammate Merle said, like, yeah, I can't wait to see William's little smile at the end, and I remembered it. It's like, oh yes, I'm so excited. And then when I finished, also it's just so nice to see him, to see my little son there. And it's like, it matters, the sport, but it's also like what matters most is your child. So it's like a double win feeling. I don't know. I understand exactly what you mean.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, nothing like having a child to put things in perspective.
True.
For sure. So, you've been in the sport for a really long time, obviously performed at the highest level, world champion, everything. The sport is, I mean, you've, like us, much longer than us, you've witnessed the transition into sport, both expanding out of Sweden, now it's worldwide. Big changes last year with Michael and Mats stepping down in their roles at ÖTILLÖ. I'm curious, from your side of things, like, how do you see the sport changing, and are you stoked about this next chapter that's unfolding?
Yeah, I'm very excited. I think that, of course, it was very sad that Michael and Matt steps aside. Like, we all know them as like the fathers of or founding fathers of Swimrun. Or I guess we had to say credit to the original four that actually did the race also. But indeed, but what they have built with the brand ÖTILLÖ, it will always stay. So honestly, I'm not so worried about them not being there anymore, because the brand will continue, and everything that they built up, it will continue. And we see proof of that with them already expanding here in the US. And I think they're excited to put on even more races together with the Odyssey, which is now Swimrun USA or ÖTILLÖ USA. So I think it will be very exciting to see what happens here. If you follow, I think in Sweden, it grew so fast. When I started 2015, and it grew really quickly those years, like up until 2020 maybe. Then now I think it's kind of like flattened out in Sweden. It's growing still a lot, I think, in countries like France. Like they put it in the Triathlon Federation, which I think helped. I know that's another opinion, if swimrun should be in a federation or not. I don't know. I think people have different opinions about that.
For sure.
Yeah. But I think it could maybe be good. And now in the US, I hope that it will we'll see some more races, because I don't think there are enough races in the US. There are a couple, like we don't have any in Florida yet, so that would be good if we had one, if it's possible with all the sharks and alligators. But
Out for them gators.
to swim fast,
Gators,
yes. But there's a lot in the north. I think up in California, you have a couple of as well. If they get Catalina going again, it would be nice.
Yeah, if we get Catalina, then we'll have two. But
Two,
but yeah,
okay.
no, I think that point's well taken. It's like, how can you grow the sport if you don't
There's a
see it
very
happening
limited
near
amount
you?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
there just aren't
exactly.
enough races to really, I mean, people just need to try it. But if there's no place for them to try it.
Yeah. I feel like the community in the US of swim runners is very tight, even though we all live far away from each other, though, it seems. So that's good. But I think it would be benefit from more people getting into the sport if we had some more races like if we had a race in every state or something like that, would be cool. Oh. But I know there's a bunch of, there's the Mud Skipper swim run, they're expanding. And then my swimrun championships from Europe, they put a race partner now in the US. And then you have the ÖTILLÖ here as well. So I think there's interest, and a lot of organizers are starting to start some races here. So we just have to sign up and help them that way and make the races bigger.
Yeah, that's what we keep preaching. So as you're working on your New Year's resolutions, do a few swim runs, do a few local swim runs, put that on.
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Yeah, find whatever swim run is closest to you and go do that.
Yeah,
one.
we got some on the coast to make it easy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious about your take on the Swimrun Federation thing, because France did that, I think, successfully. I don't know if it'd be as successful here. I feel like in the US, if like USA Triathlon takes it over, they're just going to try to find a way of like extracting money out of it, kind of thing. And I don't know if that'd be as good for the sport because, well, I mean, I think there's just different challenges here, right? So one would be if it is under the USA Triathlon Federation, which I have some experience with, it's like they're all about making sure no one gets sued. So a lot of these races might have problems getting off the ground because of the permitting or the level of difficulty or stuff like that. So that might actually become an impediment. But a lot of these races are getting insured by USAT anyway.
Yeah.
So
you need your insurance before you go.
I think what they did, and someone has to maybe fact check this, but what I think they did in France was that all the triathlon clubs that put on triathlon races had to also do a swim run or something like that. So that was interesting, because then you kind of like forced it into a habit of also making it. Because I feel like if you organize a triathlon race, it's not that hard to also make a swim run, maybe in the same area, or a shorter one at least.
Yeah, and the folks are, I mean, Fanny's a marketer as well, so we all sort of have the sickness. You can't help but think about like how, what's the biggest audience that's going to probably be the most into swimrun? It's triathletes. You just take, overly simplifying, you just take the bike away, and there's going to be some percentage of people in the triathlon club that they're just like into it automatically because it's another cool thing that they get to do. But yeah, there's definitely the word's just not out enough. And I think more of these local races adding a little mini swim run to their race profile on Saturday is going to be a nice little intro. They might get 20, 30 people that do it, but I think that's how it kind of needs to start. But
True. The issue with triathlon, though, is that it's a very individual sport. And I've heard from many triathletes that they struggle doing the team sport. Like some people don't get that. You have to work together and do this. But I know many races also do single distances. It hurts my heart a little bit. I would find it very boring to do swimrun by myself, but it might be a good way to get people into the sport as well, to try it by yourself, because it is hard to find an even partner. It is not the easiest.
Yeah, it does, and it creates a lot of. It just creates more barriers to get into the sport. It's like, okay, now you have to keep two people healthy. You have to align two people's social calendars, families, all that stuff to make it happen. So, we definitely understand the. I guess we do it we do it all the time.
Or you set out all this, maybe you guys do all the swim runs in the calendar first and then plan around.
It's where's the family vacations going to fit into these?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, Fanny, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this, because it's like, I'm with you. The soul of swimrun, it's a team sport. Solo categories are super popular now. Like, part of me is like, okay, you'll do it. Like, this is me maybe being Pollyanna. It's like, oh, you'll do a solo, then you realize, oh, now you want the full experience, so you go find a teammate and then do it as a team. But I mean, I guess I don't know if that's happening.
I'm not sure. We would have to do some research.
We need to crunch some numbers. We need to get some data analysts in here to help us figure this out. But
a survey.
But I agree, and I guess people that, hey, I did the solo one in Folsom, and I think what really appeals to people is that obviously it's just you against you, and I think that's what people really like about triathlon. It's not necessarily a stick measuring contest. It's, hey, how fast can I go? Like, how can I push myself? And I think that aspect of it will always apply to the solo swim run. And there'll be people that's all they're really in it for, is to test themselves, which is totally fair. But I'm totally in with all of you as well. Like, the partnership aspect just takes it to a different level. But it is a lot complex to
we could have room for people to race for different reasons also. Like, I think in a marathon you have people that do it to make it, you have people that do it to win it, and you have people that run with their friends. And why shouldn't we also in swimrun have room for any reason to race as well? I think
I love that.
And I think that ÖTILLÖ sees that as well. And with the new points system that they've introduced, how it's not tied to the team anymore, it's tied to the person. They really, I think, have understood this and seen this as how the sport's evolving. Is, I think Desiree is a great example. She just wins it, whatever she's doing, doesn't matter, mixed or women's or whatever. It's just
whatever she wants.
Yeah, get out of her way. She's coming
just
through.
A superstar.
Yeah, she's coming through, everybody. But aligning the points there is a really good move, I think, and kind of will help give people the different experience to help them lock into a partner.
Yeah. I think we just have to, as a community, or all of us that have been in the sport for a while, we have to help each other maintain the swimrun spirit, because I think that comes a lot from the team sport as well. So that we, like, because we are unique. I think the community and the feeling around swimrun is a little bit different from maybe triathlon. So we just have to maintain that nice feeling about the community also that comes from the team sport aspect of it. So I think that's the only risk with putting too many maybe individual races as well.
Yeah, there's it's either Chelsea or Nikki Bailey from Eskina Swimrun.
Well, they both are there.
But one of them said swimrun is just the friendliest sport.
Yeah.
And it's so true. It is the friendliest sport. Everyone is super friendly and welcoming.
Yeah.
And to your point, Fanny, it's like, that's what we want to preserve. I mean, that's however the sport grows. To me, the community piece and the fact that, you show up in Austin and do a race and it harkens back to your swim runs in Europe in terms of just the community and everything else. I mean, I think that's a super powerful thing. And the fact that piece of it is the thing that ÖTILLÖ is trying to export, I think is really good.
Indeed. Yeah. Absolutely.
But yeah. So we wanted to ask you, so when I was researching for this interview, you have a website, you are providing coaching plans and helping people in swimrun and in sport. Just tell us a little bit more about that. Yeah,
of course. Yeah, it was when I was pregnant, I worked out less and I had a lot of time on my hands. So I decided to put together some training plans. And I have on my website, if you want to go check it out, there's a sprint and a long distance one. And it's really, really also for myself, I wanted to put down everything I've learned from both my swimming career since I was like 13 to now, and also all the swimrun that I've done since 2015, and just get it down on paper, like how I actually train. And with that also help other people, because I am, as you guys, passionate about growing the sport. So if I can help someone with how they should train for swimrun, then I really want to do that. And yeah, so I have some training plans, and then I have helped coach a couple of people so far, and I'm open to do more of that. So that's exciting. But
nice.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But if you're interested, you can get in touch with me. Absolutely.
You know where to find her. I'll link
also be in the show notes.
Yeah, it is. I mean, certainly your history and your athletic history is top notch, and I think putting all that down is probably a really fun exercise for you to figure out. And you've probably made a lot of mistakes in training, and you've hit on some things that you think are really good, but just laying it all out there is nice. And I know I've been feel like I'm getting more of the swimming bug, which is probably something that you've suffered from for a while, it sounds like.
Indeed.
But you were talking a little bit about how swimming can be, you want to, your market, instead of the triathletes, you're going for the swimmers, and to try to get some more swimmers into swimrun.
Yeah, I think that's an untapped market for the growth of swimrun, because so many swimmers don't like to run. I mean, I was one of them, I've had to say. Like, I still love swimming much more than running. But swimrun is so fun because you get to run and then you get to swim somewhere else. So that's the motivation. But I think that also most swimrunners many swimrunners come from a running background and learn to swim. I don't know. Do you guys have an opinion about that?
No, I think that's true. I think it's I mean, I'm just totally making up these numbers, but I would say it's probably less than half of people that come to swimrun from like a solid,
I swam in
college or something.
Yeah, not so many. But I think it could be. It's so different to run in swimrun than running a marathon. Like, I have no desire to run a marathon without swimming, and
noted. Pick a marathon that's close to the ocean. So if you want to just take a break,
exactly, I would seriously consider that if I ever have to do one. And I think that you can get by with a little less running than many people think. Like in my training plans, there's I think traditionally in swimrun training more volume of swimming than running, just to not discourage people. And also, I think it's important to do your strength training for swimrun. So I put that in there also, not specific programs, but I might in the future do some strength training videos just to show what I'm doing, because that's something I really learned throughout the years, especially us swimmers that try to run. You have to be careful with injuries, because we're like, as a swimmer, at least I learned that I'm not used to the pounding and like the strain on the body that running puts you through. And I had so many injuries. I had so many stress fractures and problems with my hips and whatnot, because I just started running too much too quickly. So if you're a swimmer, don't make that mistake. Like, go slowly in the beginning and like amp up your running. Like, maybe don't start with the ÖTILLÖ championship, but do a 10K swimrun first.
Yeah. That's good advice.
Yeah. Okay, so these training plans pass the sniff test, it sounds like. Don't do ÖTILLÖ as your first race. It's good.
It's like, that's good. Strength is something that I think, we can always talk more about that, because, you think, oh, I'm a swim runner, so let me just swim and run. But there's so much of it, like, you're going from horizontal to vertical, a bunch of times. You're scrambling. These courses are, sometimes it turns into like obstacle course racing on some of the stuff. So I guess generically, what would you recommend from a strength program? Like, what do you think swim runners, just your basic swim runners, should be doing from a strength perspective?
I think I mostly focus my strength training on preventative, like leg strength and for running. So a lot of like single leg exercises to stabilize your knees and your ankles. Like, first, as swimmers, we have very loose ankles, but it's not necessarily a bad thing, because if you like twist your ankle, it's very flexible, so you can like untwist it really quickly. Also, when you run, if you know what I mean.
Catch it. Yeah.
Exactly. But a lot of like single leg work and some core work as well, just to stay upright for so long, to strengthen your core in different, like, I'm not explaining it, but exercises where you force gravity to one side, sort of. And I think that, and some also for running, it's important to train your calves. So like calf raises, pogo jumps, and stuff like that, where you like hit the ground and get off the ground quickly. I think it's really good. It's helped me. I think that's the main things to do.
And that's I agree with all those things, because I mean, it's not. I think one thing that you kind of have to, especially if we were sort of have this thematic about new people approaching the sport, it's not like it's like, oh, run 10K on this road. It's like you're never going straight. You're always stepping over something. Mm-hmm. You're trying to dodge. You're going left or right. You got to be. It's a dynamic sport, and your body has to be ready for not just up and down running and then swimming. You got to be ready for everything, and especially in some of the more ÖTILLÖ, for example. I don't think I ever ran two takeout or no. You're never running two steps like in the same. You're always going to a different way. It felt like dodging through the forest constantly.
Definitely. No, a lot of strength training helps for that also. And I think it helps also for just running on pavement. And like actually my college friend that I was planned to do Odyssey Austin with, she sadly got injured, but she was a swimmer with me in college, and then she ran some marathons, and she's very athletic. She also played soccer when she swam in college, D1. And nice. Then after that, she had she got into CrossFit and did the CrossFit games for like 5 years, top 10 in the CrossFit games.
Wow.
And then after all this, like she recently ran a marathon, and like with her 15 pounds heavier, like muscle CrossFit body, and she ran 10 minutes faster, I think 3:05 or something like that in a marathon.
That's
so it's like
good.
Wow.
it like I think it's coming a lot of thoughts in on that. Maybe you don't need to just be like skinny to run fast. You can run really fast if you have muscles to propel yourself as well. So just food for thought.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's no, and especially for swimrun, I mean, the sport, you get a sense of what like an ideal swimrun body type is, but...
Yeah.
Is it a dad bod?
For us, it is. For us, that's the best it's going to get. But Desiree, she's petite, to put it mildly. Then you have someone like Ursula, who's like, or Helen, that are, I mean, these are big, strong
women,
like powerful, fast women, right? So it's really it's cool to see that the sport can accommodate so many people. Like, indeed. If you look at a lineup of people at open water swimmers, if you just pick the one that looks like Michael Phelps, that's not the fastest person. It could be someone else, right? So I think that part of it is just a cool kind of feature of the sport. I'm curious. So in the way that you're thinking about coaching, it sounds like it just sounds like super balanced and supportive of like, okay, for being overly strong on the swim is a much better adaptation to swim run than feeling like you need to have a ton of run volume. I think like Chipper and I, we would definitely agree with that. Like the more confident you are on the water, it just makes for a better experience in general. But I'm curious if is that kind of where you're getting at with your methodology?
Yeah, definitely. That's just my training philosophy for swimrun in general. But of course, maybe if you want to win ÖTILLÖ, you're going to need to run a lot. But right. I mean, my programs are more for maybe not that elite programs, I would say. Like the sprint one, you could probably do as a beginner. The marathon one is a little more advanced, a little more challenging, but that's definitely more of my training philosophy. Like you get a long way with doing a lot of cross training and maybe not do so many miles running because it's going to wear down your body. Also looking at the future of your own health, because I think many people in swimrun maybe not to win all the races. Of course, it's an aspect of it, but maybe you want to do it also to be healthy and a fun sport to train. It's great because you train two different sports also, so you're not just doing one. It's cross training, and you're having a lot of fun while doing it. So I've tried to do my plans so people can fit them in work life, like so you don't have to just spend all your weekends doing swimrun and not seeing anyone else that is not interested in swimrun.
Yeah, like a good
Wait,
balance.
there's people that aren't interested in swimrun.
We're not interested in
I don't know
people.
about that, but I think if you can find a balance in life where you sustainably can train an amount your whole life, that's what you should look for. And just to find your way. I think we all do that at some point, hopefully. Yeah,
that's a great way to put it.
Yeah,
it's a great way to put it. Speaking of finding our ways,
there's some segue just hanging out there. We got to pick it up. You got it, Chris.
I went for it. Now are you out of swimrun retirement? Like, what are you thinking in terms of racing here in 2024?
Yes, I'm definitely out of retirement. So I'm seeing what to do next year. But I would like to do a few of the ÖTILLÖ or like formerly Odyssey series here in the US. I'm seeing which one of those races to do. I'm seeing have you guys done the Mackinac Island one?
It's only one we haven't done.
Oh, really? Because that seems like such a cool place, and you can't have cars on that island.
Just horses.
Yeah.
And bicycles, I think.
Yeah, horses and bikes.
Those are the only methods of transportation. Fudge, horses, or bicycles.
Cool. So I guess there's a horse carriage that does the start, or
that?
Oh, yeah. Is that?
Yeah, there's like they stand on the horse carriage, I think, and play the thing.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, we haven't done that one.
Yeah, I haven't done that one. Yeah,
cool.
That one. Obviously it's on our list because we haven't done it, but I think the last couple years it was just too close to ÖTILLÖ, and we couldn't.
Like a week before,
we couldn't. Try to be the best dads and husbands and that we can be.
No, you have to factor in everything.
Yeah,
we're trying to have a balanced. Life.
Here you go.
We're trying to find our way.
Yeah, we're trying to find our way.
So true. It's so true. Yeah. So you're thinking Mackinac and maybe another ÖTILLÖ USA race.
Yeah. Yes, but they're all kind of close together. I think next year, like in August, July, August. So we'll see. Desiree and I are trying to find a race in the spring. Also, we haven't decided which one. But she wants to come and visit me, so I will get her over here to the US. So we'll see.
Wow,
that'd be great.
That would be cool. Yeah, we had Max and Hugo were at Odyssey this year, which was a pretty
Casco.
What did I say? Odyssey, Casco. Yeah. So that was a cool, but we need the Queen of Swimrun over.
Yeah, I know.
The Queens.
The Queen.
Take over the US.
Return of the Queen. That's what it should be.
I'm like a Queen relic. When
still royalty,
in 2018, it's still too many years ago. I have to update my merits now.
Your merits are always intact with us.
Yeah, no one's believing that.
No one.
Do we need to drop how she did at Austin?
Yeah.
She won.
Yeah, she won Austin, the short course, which we knew was going to happen, but I don't think anyone else on the short course was ready for it.
Well, it was me and my teammates. So
It's true. Who was a fascinatingly interesting person? Merle, I believe, was her name.
Yeah, she's Estonian. Merle, I think is how you pronounce it.
Merle. Well, Merle was telling us all the Guinness World Records she has.
Yeah, just no big deal. Guinness World Records.
It's amazing.
Yeah, she's working really hard to preserve for water cleanliness and preserving the environment. So it's really cool.
Yeah, super cool, super cool. Well, we hope to see you at some of these races, and obviously let us know what your race calendar is, so we can
once it's firmed up.
Try to.
What about you
match
guys? Have you decided your?
We really haven't. We know we're doing Engadin.
Yeah,
but beyond that,
nice.
beyond that, and we're bringing the family
for that
so that's going to be an entire. It's going to be a whole production.
Boys European vacation.
Yeah, we're trying to get a bunch of American teams to come, so we're planting seeds as many as we can to try to have a little bit of fun over there. But besides that, Probably do a couple of the Odyssey USA races. Any race that's happening in California, we'll definitely do. But yeah, it's interesting for us because we also want to try to support local races. We're not trying to necessarily get world championship points, so that gives us a little bit more freedom to sort of choose what we want. But we want to do all the races.
Yeah,
and it's just not. That's not going to happen.
It's not possible.
You have to spread it out a little bit.
But I mean, I think we're excited to do Engadin with the family because we had that experience, and the kids are kind of old enough, and you're not quite there yet, but they hear a lot about Swimrun constantly, and to them, we're probably already famous. But to see it happen in person, they were like, "Whoa!" Like, oh, it was another cool swim run level up for us.
The bar was set high, though.
Yeah, there was a problem. So we did the race. We won the team division. It was a very small race. And then the next race we had was ÖTILLÖ, and our kids were like, "Are you going to win that one too?" Because that's
a lot of pressure.
I'm like, "Well, hold on." I was like, "Actually, we're not even trying. No, we're not even. It's not even my daughter's like, "What?"
That's what I told my kids. They're like, "Are you going to win ÖTILLÖ?" No.
I'm like, "No,
no."
I know it happened once, but yeah, it's so we try to manage their expectations. It's probably the hardest thing.
You never know if you train hard.
It's true. Anything's possible.
Yeah,
but probably not for us though.
But beating Max and Hugo is going to be a little bit difficult.
Yeah. The only thing I can beat Max at, Hugo,
the FICA World Championship.
Hugo, we could definitely beat him in the FICA World Championships. But I could probably beat Hugo in eating a bag of Sun Chips faster.
Oh, really?
Right, he did.
He definitely eat a bag of chips faster than he can.
I want to see that.
Hugo's listening to this. He's like, challenge accepted.
Like, let's go. Family size bag.
You're going to have to send, I don't think they have Sun Chips in France.
I don't know.
You're going to have to export some of those over to France.
We'll figure out where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
But we're super excited for this year. We really feel like, the sport of swimrun, it really feels like, hey, the Michael and Mott's era chapter, maybe even chapter 1 of the sport is now closed, and now we're in chapter 2, which early on it looks like it's the year of expansion into the U.S. Expansion into the U.S. take 2 post COVID, and we're super excited, and we're super excited to have you in the States to help it along because we respect you so much, and you do so much good work. Not just with Wild Swim Run, but we know that you're now trying to do stuff with the coastal waters in Florida, which is just amazing. So can you tell us a little bit more on what you're doing close to home?
Well, it's I swim with a swim group here. It's called Dolphins and Rainbows. It's a bit easy name.
Nice. Sounds great. Sounds
the reason why it's called that, the first time the group got together, there was dolphins and rainbows. So
wow.
But it's an amazing open water swim group that is like all levels, and we're like 30 to 50 people, I'd say, on Sunday swimming in the ocean. And it's a big group, and like all levels swimming. And a lot of people there are actually doing a little bit of swim run. We got a few of them to go on swim run practices and so on. And a few of them were also in the Casco Bay race that was foggy. But and they are also there are several organizations there that work for preserving the marine life and just preserving so we can swim in clean water. And I just really would like to help somehow with that as well. So I think with my training programs, I'm going to donate part of the cost to some kind of organization that deals with marine preservation. So I really hope, I want to contribute in some way. So I hope I can get that going soon.
Well,
nice.
I mean, we are all the way back 2000 in Catalina when we interviewed you about everything that's happening with Wild Swim Run. We already know you're a super high quality person and just an amazing human. And, it surprises me not at all that you're doing this where you are. And let us know how we can help and support you and, get the word out. We're happy to do that.
Thanks so much. Yeah, I appreciate all your support. Also, ever since you heard about Wild Swimrun, you've been so supportive as well. And Wild Swimrun lives on as well. They're having
For
some.
sure, yeah.
It's mostly Mia and Helen that does it now that I don't live in Europe anymore. But I'm still in on a little corner. And
Sure.
Miami
they're planning. Yes, exactly.
That's what we need. Miami.
We've thought
Wild
about to
Swimrun,
maybe
Miami
do something here as well.
Oh yeah.
And no, they're planning another camp in the spring. I think it's like I don't think I can say where it is, but we'll see how that goes.
WildSwimrun.com to check it out.
Exactly.
Yeah, get all the details.
Get all the details there.
Well, Fanny, thank you so much for spending some time with us. We're stoked for 2024. We're stoked for you.
Yes.
Thank you for being so supportive of us from the beginning. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you at some races soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on again. And I want to thank you for everything that you do for Swimrun, because you have an awesome podcast, very high quality production,
Well, thank you.
Marketing guys and knows what to do. And it's amazing to have you in the sport. And as I said, like when I walked into Odyssey, you're the famous guys. So
yeah, that's just because they don't know.
Yeah, they
don't know
been
who's the real
exposed
famous.
to. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for saying that,
appreciated.
Fanny. We love the sport, and one of the reasons we love it is because there's people like you in it. So it makes it really, really fun for us.
oh, thank you.
It's getting real mushy over here.
I know.
There's a lot of
Yes.
feeling. Yeah, this is great. Lots of feelings happening. But yeah, it's Fanny. Thank you again so much. Definitely, we'll look forward to seeing you out at more U.S. swim runs, and have a great 2024.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me.
That's it for this week's episode. Thanks so much for listening to the show. Make sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and leave a rating or review, since that's the best way to help other people discover the show and the sport of swim run.
Check out our website, lowtideboys.com. That's boys with a Z, for swimrun resources, including gear guides, tips, how-to videos, and so much more. Make sure to check out our meme page at The Low Tide Boys on Instagram. If you have any questions or suggestions for the show, send us a DM or email us at lowtideboys@gmail.com.
We'd like to thank Riding Easy Records for our show music, and of course our wives for their support and tolerance of our swim run and other activities.
Lots of activities.
Lots of activities.
Finally, you can support our efforts on Patreon. Until next time, get out there and go for a swim.
Then a run,
And then a swim,
then another run,
then another swim.
then run some more.
Just keep going.
Let's go.
And then stop at some point because,
And fuel. Don't forget to fuel.
Gotta fuel
Of
too.
course, yes.